This guy's a six-term congressman from Ohio, and he is going to talk to us about the economy and how it affects faith, freedom, and family like nobody else can say it. Congressman Bob McEwen.
Thank you very much, brother. Pat, thank you so very much. 4% of the population of the world call themselves Americans. And yet every year, 25 to 30% of all the goods and services blessing this entire continent are produced by those people. Every year, more books, more plays, more symphonies, more copyrights, more inventions than the rest of the world combined are produced by that 4%. For thousands of years, people had hoped to someday fly, but it was the Americans that invented the airplane and the light bulb and the telegraph and the telephone and the global positioning system and the internet. Half of all the people on earth live on less than $2 a day. Half of those live on less than $1 a day. More people in China live on less than $1 a day than exist in all of North America. The second richest spot on earth is Western Europe, France, Germany, Britain. In America, we have a level below which we will not permit a person to sink. You come to this country, sit down on a park bench, wave a flag, and tell how awful it is here. We will give you a roof over your head, a bed to sleep in, unlimited stamps for food, and education for you and your children. A person living in poverty in America is more likely to have a telephone, a television, an air conditioner, an automobile, eats more meat, and has more square footage space than the average resident of the second richest spot on earth, Western Europe. Now, the question would be, why? And if we do not know the answer to that, then there will be those that will want to come and fundamentally change America, and if they're able to do that, there will be no place left for freedom-loving people to go. The answer to the question why is one word: freedom. The definition of freedom is 4 words: ordered liberty in a free market. And as Desi Arnaz said, let me explain. The people driving down Santa Monica Boulevard, there are only 2 ways to get money out of their pockets. One is free enterprise. The other is coercion. First of all, free enterprise. That is where a person lays awake nights trying to invent a way to bless those people so much that they're willing to slam on their brakes and pull in the driveway and say, yes, absolutely, I would like to have a nice clean, my car nice, shiny and clean than have this $10 bill. I'd rather have that pair of shoes than this $50. I'd rather have that global positioning unit than this $200. And under a free enterprise exchange, both people at the end are better off than they were before. What I'm about to say, I can assure you that a vast majority of the members of Congress do not know the answer to this, and I will repeat it twice. That is the only way wealth is created. That is the only way wealth is created. A farmer with a pile of wheat, a baker with empty ovens. The baker says, I would rather have that wheat than this money. And the farmer says, I would rather have that money than this wheat. And they make an exchange so that at the end, they are both better off. And the farmer says, now that I have this money, I can put my daughter in college, and I can buy a new tractor, and I can put a roof over the house. And the baker says, now that I have this wheat, now I can produce loaves of bread and go into business. At the end of the transaction, they are both better off. They both have created wealth, and if they have not, they will not make the transaction. There's only one other way to get money out of their pocket. Only one. It's called coercion, and it comes in 2 forms: criminal and government. That is, a criminal has the capacity to go over to those cars and to take money away from them. And when he has done that, that person is diminished. That person is less off. And so if he takes half of his paycheck, when the person gets home, he must sit down with his family and say, this is how much we have left because a criminal, a mafioso, someone came and took money away from me, and this is what I have left to live on this week. Or the city councilman or the governor or the congressman can walk over and take half of it away, and that person then has to sit down at the same table and tell his family, this is how much we have to live on. The fact is, the impact is the same. That person has lost their freedom because they have fewer choices and they have a lower standard of living. America is the richest, most powerful nation on earth for one reason, because we do less of that than any other nation. And now that you understand the principle, you can make any rich place poor. When I was young, Detroit was the richest city on the planet. Today, 20% of all the homes in Detroit are uninhabitable. You can make any rich place poor by taking things away from people, or you can make any poor place rich by giving them freedom, and that's why we are here. Let me conclude with this. Our dear friends in the media want to ask themselves this question. They sit and stare at each other and they ask this question over and over. What do the people in the Tea Party want? They, after all, the government that we gave them at the last election, we sat on the couches, says the anchorman, and we cried at the thrill of the election. And the anchor host say, I get thrills up my leg just listening to them speak. And what is it, after all, what is it that they want? There's about 10 things, but I'm only going to give you one, and with this I'm finished. Over the last 50 years, the national debt of the United States of America has averaged 28%. As the economy grew, the debt has grown. It stayed right at about 28%, except for the 4 years that Newt Gingrich was Speaker of the House. It's basically the debt has grown every year, just as the economy has grown every year. And the day that Barack Obama became President of the United States, the national debt was 30% of the GDP. It was 30% of the gross domestic product of the state, of the entire nation. Today, as we stand here 20 months later, the national debt of the United States of America is 62% of the gross domestic product. It's 20% higher than it is in Argentina. And when we say we want to take our country back, it's as though our brother-in-law came in and took the title to our house, has gone off and running up all of these bills, and we are saying about the Constitution of the United States, we want our country back. And so beginning this November, you and I are going to do the thing that we have been entrusted by our founders to do. That is that we are not going to wish, we are not going to complain, we are going to actually vote. We're going to take our friends, we're going to go to the polls, and we're going to say that we're going to stand for freedom, we're going to stand for liberty, we're going to stand for free enterprise, we're going to say for lower taxes, and as a consequence, we will take America back, and the rest of the world will look to this day and this moment and this generation and say, God bless you and God bless America.